Hey guys, Pope Sano here and welcome back to a new video. I wanted to make another jungle quiz video, but instead of kind of the multiple choice thing, well, I guess it still will be multiple choice, but really what I want to do is test your decision making in the jungle today. Not just raw game knowledge, but really, do you know what you should be doing at any given point in the game? Jungle's very difficult in that way, and so I've come up with a few scenarios in which you can put your knowledge to the test. As always, before we begin, if you enjoyed this type of content, please like and subscribe. It helps me grow. Alright, let's go. In scenario 1, we have Viego versus Warwick. We're going to pay attention to the Warwick. At the start of the game, both champions come out of the base and they go towards their bot lane. There's a bit of an invade and Viego does end up dying. However, we want to identify where Warwick should be pathing to, and this is my first question to you. Here's all the information with the lane matchups. In this situation, both junglers start bottom, and Warwick elects to be pathing from bottom to top lane. But is this the right call? Where do you think Warwick should be pathing to in this situation? You have 3 lanes, or you could just full clear. Is there someone you should be playing around? Ask yourself this question. The answer is D, none of the above, and I could spend the time going through why each answer is wrong in detail, but I'll just explain to you why I think none of these options is good. First, there isn't really a great lane to gank on the top side of the map. Both top and mid fall into this category. And secondly, we don't want to 2v2 either top or mid because I think we lose that early. Finally, we want to actually path towards the lane with the most CC and the most gank setup. Here, someone like Senna is extremely vulnerable to Veigar and Pyke. This could set us up for free kills. As you can see in this situation, Warwick did not have a clear indication of who he needed to play around this game. Here, he didn't realize that Viego and Sylas are actually great at fighting early, and especially when your Azir gets chunked out, this is not where we want to be. Imagine for a moment if he instead pathed from red buff all the way down and was ganking bot lane at this point. His game would be so much easier to play, and this is why it's important to think about our matchups. In this situation, King Nidhogg is playing in Grandmaster Elo against a Rek'Sai. And I have a bit of context with King Nidhogg because he totally didn't gap me the other day. Anyway, here he's going to display some really good understanding about the matchup itself. But I'm going to ask you a few questions about this game. It's very common in high elo for junglers to not want the enemy to know where they started, usually going leashless for this reason. As we see, Xerath does drop a very good ward and spots out the Rek'Sai. My first question to you, as the Jarvan, because Rek'Sai started on Raptors, what does that say about what she might do? And which lane do you need to warn? The answer is C, your bot lane. Because Rek'Sai is starting on her Raptors, what is very common is to do something like Raptors Red Krugs or Red Krugs Raptors, and then actually loop into your jungle and go through the big wall that is behind your bot lane. As you can see, King Nidhogg is aware of this and he actually pings that out. Looking from the opposite perspective with Rek'Sai, which lane should she go to now that she started Raptors, done Krugs, and is finishing her red buff? The answer is A, go to top lane. The reason being is because bot lane doesn't really have a good gank opportunity right now, even though they are kind of pushing in, as you're going to be diving into a Thresh and a Tristana that can leap away from you. Second, mid lane is too pushed in. And third, as we can see, the opposite is happening in the top lane. Rek'Sai understands that these lane matchups indicate that top lane is definitely the place to go. Of course, Rumble is going to shove in a Fiora early, and being that Rek'Sai is very strong with red buff and level 3, she doesn't need to actually go to any of her other camps. This is the perfect gank opportunity. I guarantee these types of free ganks exist in your games all the time, and this is why I'm harping on early matchups and early pathing in this video. Now that Jarvan has seen Rek'Sai top at level 3 and 12 CS, he needs to ask himself, how should I approach the rest of the early game? What is my next move? Well, there's a few options here, and my next question for you. Should he invade Rek'Sai's blue? Should he go to Scuttle Crab? Should he base and go to the opposite side of the map? Or should he instead look for a counter gank mid or even top here? The answer is B, pressure the crab. We do this because Rek'Sai has lost a bit of resources top and we're a level up on him after we finish the Scuttle Crab here. Now, Scuttle Crab is actually more important post jungle nerfs because it scales way better and it just generally is going to give you more. Likewise, we don't need to allow Rek'Sai to get this crab because we do have this advantage on her. Yes, she got the gank off top lane, which sucks for our team, but we don't need to give her any more. How are you doing so far? Don't forget to leave a like and let me know in the comments how it's going. In this final scenario, we have a Kindred playing versus a Kayn. And you should know that this Kindred versus Kayn matchup is heavily skewed in Kindred's favor early into the game. She wants to look to play aggressive on him, invade, and potentially solo kill him inside of the jungle. Now, in this example as well, we can see that Kayn starts on his wolves and starts to move into Kindred's topside to take away her raptors. Now, this is a very brave move, but I suspect that it means that Kayn probably didn't realize that Kindred was beginning on her top side. Nevertheless, after this skirmish a little bit, my question to you is, where should Kindred go in order to continue to punish Kayn? This was a bit of a trick question, but I'm going to break each of them down briefly. First, you don't want to invade Kayn's blue buff. Reason being, because Poppy currently has priority, and if you get pushed off of the blue buff somehow, if say a Kali roams and Poppy comes, then you don't have anything else to fall back on and you're very far away from the next camps. Clearing her bot side is fine here, but it does limit your potential to actually punish Kayn early, which is where your biggest advantage is. Third, we don't want to gank mid, because as we're walking through, Akali knows we're there. We're already skirmishing with Kayn, and so there's no secret that you're coming towards that lane. Don't waste your time trying to trade here. Simply pick your decision and go to it. Now, I say invading bot side is the best course of action. First, we have priority mid. Second, Kayn goes towards his blue buff initially, although he does begin to wrap around, of course. The thing is though, we can't fully invade him here because we don't have bot lane priority. Still, we can use our level 2 with red buff advantage over Kayn's level 2 with no buff advantage by just maybe fighting him at his red buff or on his raptors instead of going to his Krugs here, which really is the big mistake that the Kindred makes. It just allows the enemy bot lane to collapse without any support from our own team. And that's going to conclude our jungle quiz for today. I'll probably do a mid-game and a late-game quiz for the jungle here pretty soon. And so if you want to see that type of thing, let me know in the comments, or if you enjoy this type of content in general, please consider leaving a like or subscribing to my channel. Alright, hope you all have a nice day. Pope out.